here on The Tonight Show. This is the 2012 It's Too Late show, and our first guest this evening is Ryan McCarthy. Here he is from downtown San Francisco in the flesh. Come on down.
Thanks, Womack. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on your show.
And tonight we're just going to be talking to him a little bit. How do you feel about 2012 so far?
It's really not as scary as I thought.
You know, the other day the funny thing happened to me. I was driving down the street and I saw a guy coming, you know, the cross section. He was wearing his seatbelt, and I thought, dude, what are you protecting yourself from? It's all over anyway.
I stopped wearing my seatbelt in '09.
So what do you? I heard that you're a specialist because of you're a scientist. Is that correct? Or tell us about your trade.
I had a new idea actually.
What was that?
You know, we're always talking about going green and conservation. I think conservation, and really, actually, it all boils down to spending less on red.
I love that.
Yeah, I got a bunch of these great ideas. I don't know why it takes a comedian to get this.
Well, like what are some of your other ideas?
Well, you know, and I was talking to Wambobi, and he had
Dingo?
Right.
Dingo's a good friend of mine.
Right, down south. Yeah. Oh, you know him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dingo and I we went down to the bayou last year for a fishing trip.
You were on that? Really? Didn't he have that guy, Incredible Fish Monster Wade on the show too?
I didn't know about Wade.
You were the reason I really watched the Super Bowl. I mean, really, who cares about Manning, 4-time MVP? Except for maybe you. No, I had some other ideas too. I mean, you notice our currency as it gets older, it gets more faded and yellow?
You think yellow, huh?
Yeah, I mean, everything's made in China. And gray, I love that color. Don't get me on that topic. I want to talk about, you know, colors. And I don't mean to shout, but I love talking about colors. Congressmen, it doesn't matter what side you're on, you're all in the gray. You're just not sure. It's all a little gray. It's a gray area. It's a loophole, remember?
You put lawyers in there.
All of them. It's just so crazy. And so those are most of the colors. Also blue. You've noticed in what's the century? The 21st century?
Yeah.
Everything's about colors, and they went ahead and added blue, you know? You got your Bluetooth in your ear, your Blu-ray in your face. I mean, how many blue experiences have you had today?
Actually, I was a little sad because it rained earlier.
That's what I'm talking about.
How do you feel about government in general? I mean, wide spectrum government.
Oh yeah, the government is pretty wide spectrum. That's about all I think about it.
And I talked to a guy the other day, and he asked me what I thought about government.
Yeah.
And I told him, you know, the government does 3 things better than anybody else on earth.
Probably does more than 3.
Number one, they tax you. And they tax you to death. I mean, you literally, you're about to die, and they're still taxing you.
That's the primary function, yes.
You know, and then number two, they shop. I mean, they're spenders. And I mean, well, you know, they spend more than anyone else in the world. Last year we went in debt 12.4 trillion.
Talk about a credit card limit.
Who do you think was spending all that money? I mean, they literally printed billions of dollars just so that they could spend this big fake money. Monopoly money is a real thing. Thirdly, regulations. They regulate you so hard that the only thing that you can do in life now is literally think for yourself. Everything else has a regulation for it. It's unbelievable.
Oh, man. Yeah, I had an experience the other day. and I'm a hunter, you know. I don't know if you're into hunting, but where I come from, they're in
I love to hit a duck or two once in a while.
But you know,
I love my duck.
I was out, you know, shining a deer. Sheriff comes up, "What you doing, son?" Give me all the respect in the world type spiel. Here it is, it's against the law to shine wild animals. I was like, is that at night or in the day? Because does it make it, I mean, really? Why didn't you say shining wild animals at night? In the day? Come on, how are you going to tell?
So last week I heard probably the funniest joke of my life.
Tell it to me.
And I'm just gonna lay it out there for you and see what you think. There was a rich lawyer in New York. This was back before New York got blown up.
That was a tragedy.
It was, but we won't go there. So New York.
It's 2012. I mean, it was too late.
It's always too late. I mean, you know, there's no more airbags in your car because they don't even make them in your car anymore. Because if you get hit, why would you want to be saved? It's
well,
just,
there's no doctor to take care of it.
Well, it's too late.
How many different ways will we come up with?
It's like the next fruit roll commercial. So back to the joke. The lawyer from New York, he's riding down the road, and I mean this guy, he's got a nice car. And he goes to Parallel Park, and he pulls into this tight spot, and he barely squeezes in. And right when he opens his door, this biker, it's some kind of a Suzuki, and he flies by and he clips the door. Of course the biker goes flying, he's got road rash, and the lawyer's like, "What in the heck? My Mercedes!" And he's just going on and on and on and on about his Mercedes, and that's all he can think about. And then some bystander comes over and he's like, "Sir, what happened to your arm?" And here, sure enough, his arm gets ripped off while he's trying to open the door, because the biker goes flying by and rips the door and the arm off simultaneously. And he looks down and he's like, "My Rolex!"
This guy in the bank reminded me of the good old days when we had good old jokes like, Indian plane train, Indian boom boom. I do remember a few. It was the airplane with the engine stalling out, and they weren't going to make it across, and they didn't know where, you know, and they could crash, and there's water. I think it was over Texas. Yeah, that's how it goes. It's over Texas, and there's a bunch of crazies, and they end up, I don't know, jumping out of the plane or throwing somebody out of the plane. It's a crazy joke.
You're gonna tell us about the joke, but you're not gonna tell us the joke. I've never heard that one before. What an idiot. You know, tell me about the story, but don't tell me the story.
Well, Womack,
good thing I invited you on the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
That was Paulie McCordy, and we will be back after these messages.